It's Labor Day here in South Korea, yet medical professors at all of the so-called Big Five hospitals have decided to take a weekly day off from work. Now, can they be held responsible for suspending medical services? We're joined by Professor Se-ryun this morning. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
Some of the doctors actually halted services starting yesterday on Tuesday as part of that plan. This isn't technically illegal, or is it?
There is a gray area in this case because if you look at the doctors as workers, then there are rights and duties assigned to them. I think that the government's argument is that they are, if they can be viewed as laborers, especially interns and residents, then the organized action is only allowable through labor unions. And since the medical association is not a labor union in their view, this whole act of organized action is illegal. I think on that basis, they can view this as an illegal act. However, the doctors, as you know, has a beneficial function to the society, but they are also citizens having a right to choose trade and organize their affairs. So it would be pretty hard, if at all, to push this as a labor disputes all the way through. So that's why I think the government is having a difficulty in defining this as a straightforward labor dispute.
Definitely. Yesterday, Tuesday, was the first week of them having a weekly day off. But how long can the doctors actually continue taking this day off? I mean, as long as they want, how does that work?
The government has already issued an order to get back to work based on Korean Medical Service Act. But the applicability of the act itself is controversial because although, yes, government has a power to order them back to service, but those are situations where it is direly necessary. Those doctors and hospitals that are taking a day off, they're not the only medical service available in Korea. The patients potentially can go to other doctors, other hospitals. So it's not like it's a emergency situation like wars or where the other medical services are not available. Doctors are not employees of the government, they're not civil servants, so it would be very difficult for the government to maintain that the total control of the situation is under ministry.
Right, that's why.
Yes, I wanted to add that that's why they are invoking the fair trade argument, the violation of fair trade, and they've initiated the legal actions, but that's also controversial as well.
Definitely. That's why it's been so tricky, even though the government has been calling on the doctors to return to work. And at the same time, there is also speculation that the government is reviewing if this collective action by professors violates any law. The question is, can the government take steps to actually punish those doctors or professors?
Well, there would also be going to dispute between whether they can interpret the Medical Service Act in their favor. As we were discussing before, the government does have the power to order them back to work, and they can ban the collective action under the labor laws. But if those laws don't apply in this situation, because their laws, those kind of laws tend to be applied in a narrow basis, it would be very difficult for the government to order them back. I think that this is a political situation rather than legal situation, and the disputes between the doctors and government involves the industry dynamics and the economic factors and also a lot of liberties guaranteed by the Constitution get involved. So I think that it should have been a negotiation-based, consensus-based action in the first place, but pushing this to an extreme on both sides have landed us in a situation where we have to look at the legal languages very carefully, where these kind of decisions have rendered exactly before.
Right. Professor Song, let me be a bit dramatic here. What if the absence of those doctors takes a toll on the patients who are actually left behind at hospitals? Let's say, emergency care and surgeries don't take place as needed because of those missing professors and doctors. Can the government then take actions against the doctors?
I think that has to be looked at in different situations. Sure, in normal cases, if the doctors are taking a day off, they reschedule their treatment days. Mm-hmm. But emergency care is a little bit different. Emergency care is something that the government can probably take more drastic actions in that. But even that, they could say, well, if the emergency care facility is not available, you can go to other doctors. There are a lot of hospitals in Korea, other than those participating in taking a treatments off. So that would be a battle. I think that the government still would insist that under the Medical Services Act, they have the power, but that would be decided in the court if needs to be. But I wouldn't bet on government saying the absolute power.
Definitely. All right. Thank you, Professor Song, so much for your insight this morning. We appreciate it.
My pleasure. Thank you.